Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake of RobertoBlake.com helping you create something awesome today with a special guest.
Hi, I'm Charli and I make videos on YouTube about design and also about style and DIYs, but you're probably more interested in the design side of things.
Probably, just a little bit. So a lot of you ask all the time on the channel about t-shirt design, so much. So I decided to bring somebody who's actually built a whole t-shirt line as an amazing designer, and that's you, Charli.
Well, yeah, I have an apparel company called LinerNoteKids that I started in university, and I design t-shirts inspired by music, and I sell them online, print them all myself, so I've got some tips to share.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be awesome.
Cool, shall I just dive in?
Just dive in. Let's start with tip number 1.
Awesome. So my first tip for designing t-shirts is to think about the method that they're going to be printed with. There's a lot of different ways to print t-shirts. I've done a video about a couple of different methods that maybe you could link down below. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll link it up and down. Yeah.
There we go. So you got to think about the method that's going to be used to print it because they all have different limitations that you need to learn about. So with vinyl heat press, for example, the lines have to be very clear cut and like block shapes work better than small details. Screen printing, you can get much finer detail. So if you learn about those sorts of things, you'll learn about what you can design and what the boxes that you have to think about.
So for that is like as a good software, like I prefer to use Adobe Illustrator. Is that what you use for that?
Yeah, I use a mixture of Illustrator, Photoshop. Sometimes I do hand-drawn stuff as well because I do screen printing, so there's a lot freer with the details. So you can have a real mix.
Oh, so that's important to note. That's why screen printing might be a good direction for you guys.
Yeah,
right.
I believe screen printing is the best quality, but it does depend on your budget and the design you're trying to achieve, how many of them you're trying to print, so there's a lot of things to think about.
All right, so let's move on to tip number 2.
So tip number 2 is just like with any design brief, you have to think about the message that you're wanting to convey with the t-shirt. It's sometimes not just about art, right? Or even if it is about art, your art is telling a message and it's telling a story. So think about what the message is that the person wearing this t-shirt will be portraying when they wear it, and make sure you design so that the design represents that, and that can be a selling point as well. That the design is a certain thing that people believe in, perhaps, like I do t-shirts inspired by music, so
right.
That's a thing that music fans would want to wear.
Musicians and artists and yeah.
Yeah. So tip number 3 is also to do with the printing process, and I would advise you to be involved with that process for quality assurance purposes. You don't want to create a beautiful design and then send it off to a printer or send it off to a client and they print it in a method that's perhaps not suitable.
Right.
Or perhaps the company that they use to print it isn't good enough. And
it comes out terrible.
Yeah,
right.
and then you don't want to put it in your portfolio because the end product doesn't look any good.
Right.
So try and be involved with that process as much as possible so that you can assure that the quality is as high as possible.
All right, so let's move on to tip number 4.
So tip number 4, I would say to put your designs on a mock-up. There are lots of these available on Creative Market, for example. There's lots of great mock-ups you can buy, especially you can buy ones for the specific t-shirt that you plan on printing on even, so you can get a really good idea of what the final product is going to look like. Because sometimes designs can look a lot different on a flat canvas in your Illustrator file than they do when they're on fabric and they perhaps have folds in them and things.
That's right, yeah.
So mock-ups can really help you get an idea of what that final product will look like.
And our 5th and final tip.
So my 5th tip, the last one, is to really think about what people want to wear. Sometimes just because something looks good on the screen, it doesn't mean that it's something that people want to actually have, you know, on their chest, on their back, on their sleeve, and wear around on a daily basis. So think about the audience, what the brand you're designing for, or if it's your own brand, what your own brand represents, and design something that you know the audience of that brand is going to want to actually wear on their person as. Because I think the clothes you wear represent yourself in a way. So,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, people have to identify with the design. So think about that.
Yeah, that's why I like wearing the Create Awesome shirts and the Always Be Creating shirts and stuff like that. I know that you did liner notes because you dig music.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to wear t-shirts that are inspired by that to show that that was a part of my personality.
All right, awesome. So where can people actually buy your t-shirts and buy LinerNoteKids stuff?
It's on LinerNoteKids.com. That's, simple.
All right, awesome. So that'll be linked in the description. And also, guys, remember, you can actually buy the Create Awesome t-shirts. Like, I think a 6th tip is, like, actually sell your merch if you have shirts. So I'm terrible at that. So, guys, remember, you can actually buy the Create Awesome t-shirts at robertoblake.com/shirts. Links are in the description.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on your channel, Roberto.
Yeah, no problem. You are super awesome, and I love that you were able to give some advice that, like, you're an expert at this versus I have not started, like, a clothing company, so, that's a thing.
Maybe it's on your list?
Maybe. We'll see. It depends. Popular demand, we'll see. But anyway, thanks so much, Charlie, for being on the channel.
Thanks,
Super appreciate it. I actually have some collab videos about learning design and about branding over on Charlie's channel, CharliMarieTV. So make sure you're checking that out. Links will be in the annotation and the description below. So guys, thanks so much. And as always, remember, create something awesome today. Take care.